The gym was decorated with sparkling lights, paper lanterns, and glittering streamers that swayed with every gust of the air conditioning. It was prom night, the night that every student of Brookwood High had been waiting for. Everyone was dressed in their finest, and the air buzzed with laughter, whispers, and excitement. For most, this was a night to remember forever. But for Lily, it was the night that would change everything. Though not in the way anyone could have imagined. Lily was the quiet one in class. She sat in the back, always scribbling in her notebook, keeping her head low, never daring to be part of the loud groups. With soft brown hair that she usually kept tied, big hazel eyes that glimmered with intelligence, and a fragile frame, she always looked like someone who could be broken with a push. And the bullies knew it. For months, she had been the target of whispered taunts, cruel pranks, and mocking laughs. They called her Invisible Lily, or Library Mouse. They pushed her books off her desk, stole her lunch, and sometimes slammed her locker shut before she could even get her things. Yet she had remained quiet. She never raised her voice, never fought back, never gave them the satisfaction of seeing her cry in public. But deep inside she was burning. That night, she had been dared by her best friend Emily to do something brave, to ask Ryan, the school basketball star, to prom. Lily had laughed it off at first, but Emily pushed her. Saying it was time, she stepped out of the shadows. With trembling hands and a racing heart, Lily had approached Ryan the week before, her voice shaking as she asked. He hadn't been cruel then, only smiling politely and saying he already had a date. Lily had left quickly, embarrassed but relieved it wasn't worse. But Ryan's girlfriend Vanessa, the queen bee of the school and the meanest of all the bullies, had not forgotten. To Vanessa, Lily's act was an insult. How dare the she-nobody even think she was worthy of standing near Ryan? And so a plan was hatched. The prom was the perfect place to humiliate her. When Lily entered the gym that night, wearing a modest pale blue dress her mother had carefully sewn for her, she felt a small spark of happiness. For once, she thought maybe she could blend in, maybe she wouldn't be noticed. Emily hugged her tightly, telling her she looked beautiful, and for a fleeting moment, Lily believed it. But predators can smell weakness. Vanessa and her gang of friends, Troy, Jason, and Mia, were waiting. They circled her slowly like wolves, their voices dripping with mockery. Well, if it isn't Invisible Lily, Vanessa sneered, her perfect red lips twisting into a cruel smile. Nice dress. Did your grandma make it? The others laughed, and Lily felt her cheeks burn. She lowered her gaze, clutching her little purse tighter. Just leave me alone, she whispered. But Vanessa never left anyone alone, not until they were broken. As the music thumped through the gym and couples danced, Vanessa suddenly grabbed Lily's arm. Since you thought you were good enough to ask Ryan to prom, why don't we give everyone a show? Before Lily could pull away, Jason and Troy blocked her path, smirking like hyenas. And then, in one cruel motion that silenced the nearby crowd, Vanessa yanked at the fabric of Lily's dress. The sound of ripping echoed in the air, louder than the music for Lily. Gasps filled the gym as the shy girl's shirt tore at the neckline, exposing her undershirt beneath. For a moment everything froze. Lily's face turned crimson as tears welled up. She wrapped her arms around herself, trying to hide, her body trembling with shame. The crowd's reaction was mixed. Some laughed nervously, some whispered, and others simply stared in shock. Emily rushed forward to help her, but Troy shoved her back, laughing. "Stay out of this, loser." Vanessa grinned, proud of her cruelty, soaking in the attention like it was her crown. "This is what happens when little mice think they can play with lions," she announced loudly, her voice dripping with venom. Something inside Lily snapped. For years, she had endured. For years, she had stayed silent, swallowing the pain, burying her anger deep inside. But at that moment, standing in front of everyone, stripped of her dignity, she realized something. If she stayed silent again, they would never stop. They would break her completely. Her hands stopped shaking, her tears dried, and in their place a cold fire filled her chest. Slowly she lowered her arms, standing straighter, her eyes locking on Vanessa's smug smile. Her hazel eyes were no longer soft and timid. They were sharp, blazing with fury. Vanessa faltered for the first time, sensing something change. "What are you looking at?" she snapped, trying to regain control. Lily took a step forward, then another. The bullies smirked at first, thinking she was bluffing. But then, in one swift motion faster than anyone could follow, Lily spun on her heel, and her legs snapped out in a perfect roundhouse kick. The kick connected with Troy's chest first, the loud thud echoing in the stunned silence. His body flew back, crashing into a row of chairs. Gasps erupted. Jason rushed forward in disbelief, but Lily pivoted, her leg swinging again, striking him square across the jaw. He stumbled, falling onto the gym floor, groaning in pain. The crowd erupted into chaos, shouts, screams, phones whipping out to record. Vanessa's eyes widened in horror. What the hell? But Lily was already stepping toward her, her every movement calm, controlled, terrifying. Vanessa stumbled back, her confidence crumbling. "You're crazy!" Lily's voice was steady, sharp as steel. "No, I'm done being your victim." And with that, the night of humiliation turned into the night no one at Brookwood High would ever forget. Chapter 2E, The Revenge. The gym floor was chaos. Students backed away, forming a wide circle around Lily and the bullies. Teachers were rushing toward the scene, but even they hesitated, shocked by what they had just witnessed. Lily stood in the center, breathing evenly, her torn shirt forgotten. Her movements had been flawless, clean, precise, and filled with the kind of power no one expected from the quiet, shy girl in the back of the class. What no one knew, what Lily had never told anyone except Emily, was that she had been training in martial arts since she was 8 years old. Her father, a former military man, had taught her self-defense after seeing how timid she was as a child. But she had kept it hidden, never wanting attention, never wanting anyone to think she was different. Tonight, that secret was no longer hidden. Troy groaned on the floor, clutching his ribs. Jason tried to get up, but stumbled, holding his jaw. The entire school was watching, stunned into silence. Vanessa, still backing away, tried to cover her fear with words. "You think this makes you tough? You're still nothing, Lily. No chiemju." But her voice cracked, betraying her. Lily advanced, every step echoing with power. "You've spent years making me feel small," she said, her voice carrying through the gym. "You laughed when I cried. You shoved me when I was down. You thought I was weak." She paused, her gaze piercing through Vanessa's trembling facade. "But tonight, everyone sees the truth. You're the weak ones." Vanessa's face twisted in rage. With a scream, she lunged forward, her nails outstretched to claw. But Lily's reflexes were sharper than lightning. She sidestepped, grabbed Vanessa's arm, and with a swift motion, twisted it behind her back. Vanessa shrieked in pain as Lily forced her to the ground, her face pressed against the polished floor. The crowd exploded, some cheering, some gasping, some filming every second. Emily pushed through the circle, her eyes wide with pride and shock. "Lily, I had no idea." Lily looked at her friend briefly, her face softening for a moment. Neither did they. A teacher finally rushed in, pulling Lily away, shouting at the crowd to calm down. But the damage, or perhaps the justice, was already done. The bullies were broken, humiliated in front of the entire school. Their reign of terror shattered in a single night. Word of what happened spread like wildfire. By the next morning, videos of Lily's roundhouse kick had gone viral on social media. Comments flooded in. "This girl is a legend. Never mess with the quiet ones. She's a real-life superhero." For once, Lily walked the halls of Brookwood High, not as the invisible girl, but as someone seen, someone respected. The whispers were no longer cruel. They were filled with awe. Even Ryan, the basketball star, approached her with respect, apologizing for the way Vanessa had treated her. Vanessa, Troy, and Jason faced suspensions, their power dismantled. And though Lily could have basked in the glory, she remained calm, humble, her strength not in the fame, but in the courage she had finally embraced. In the end, Lily realized something profound. True strength was never about fists or kicks. It was about standing up when others wanted you to stay down. It was about refusing to let cruelty define who you were. That night, she had lost her fear, and in its place, she had found herself. And as for the bullies, they learned the hardest lesson of all. Sometimes, the quietest voices carry the loudest power.